Welcome back, everybody, to yet another episode here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. I am your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. For those of you who are waiting in the live stream, I definitely appreciate you being here. For those of you who are also, stopping by or watching the replay, glad to have you here. Also, we have a very, very special guest tonight, or today. It's tonight here in Africa, but it is today in certain parts of the United States. And we have a very talented brother, man. He's been making his way through Black YouTube, through this manosphere space for some time now. And he really came on strong in the last, I would say, calendar year. And that's the one and the only the Book of Alpharanomy YouTube channel. And today we want to talk about the 7 alpha perspectives every brother needs. So I want to go ahead and welcome the brother to the channel, man. Thank you for coming on, BOA.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, O'Shea, man. Salute to everybody in the chat, man. Everybody who will be listening to the playback. This would be one for the ages, man. So y'all tune in, man, if you want to get some real alpha game, man.
All right. And again, thank you so much, brother, for coming on. Me and you have worked a few times in the past. Let me ask everybody here, man, what brought you into the YouTube space as a content creator for what you do? What made you jump into that into this content?
To be perfectly honest with you, man, I was listening. I was listening to content, and I felt like there were things said that I agree with, but there were holes still being left. And I felt like the majority of men who were covering content about the relationships with women were doing it from a perspective of anger or perspective of pain or perspective of just total disdain for females and female nature. And, my mindset, being raised by pimps, I always appreciated understanding the perspective of the female. And I was like, this is a gift from God to simply understand the nature of the female, but I guess since I never had that heartbreak or that, I trust this woman when I really shouldn't thing go on in my life, I guess I didn't see it from their perspective, but I just thought there was a hole missing. And, one thing that always made me want to speak on this perspective is that when you hear Black men saying, let's just not have relationship with Black women, that's genocide for a race, man. That's self-genocide, man. I mean, if all Black men go date outside of their race, then who's going to create Black children? Eventually you weed out Black children. So I was like, man, that makes no sense to me. So I felt like it was my duty to, to come in and defend that booty a little bit, man. I mean, we all love it, we all like it. You know what I'm saying? Let's not act like we want to do away with it because we've been having problems with it.
Oh my God. Okay. That's a very interesting perspective, because there's definitely a lot of brothers out there that have a perspective of, anger, remorse, or pain. And you definitely come from a position outside of that. What is the Alphasphere in the Book of Alpharanomy all about?
Man, the Alphasphere is simply about, a lot of men talk about self-improvement. Self-improvement is one thing. We can all improve ourselves, but it's a different outlook, a different perspective on life, a different experience in life where you improve yourself to the absolute most alpha version of yourself. That's not to say that, hey, we're all going to be alpha males and call ourselves alpha. That's not the goal. The goal isn't for everyone to become an alpha male. The goal is for everyone to become the most alpha version of themselves. And as you improve and become more alpha, then your life and the circumstances of your life will improve. It's been proven since the beginning of time in the animal kingdom, and in human nature is alike. When you improve yourself to the most alpha version of yourself, it includes improvement in all areas of life. And that's what the Alphasphere is about. And I don't create content for men who hate women. I don't create content for men who blame women for their problems. I don't create content for men who blame anyone for their problems. You know what I'm saying? My motto is everything you've ever done in your life can be traced back to a decision you made. And if you haven't found that decision, keep tracing. You'll find it.
So that last part to get out like that, would you?
If you keep tracing back, keep going down the rabbit hole. See, ain't no bottom to the rabbit hole. You should keep going down there till you find that decision you made that changed your life for the next, in a detrimental manner.
Oh man.
And build up from there.
All right. Let me go ahead and help this one nigga out in the chat. Cash app you. I got a cash app. It's called Timeout. Ain't nobody gonna cash app you shit, nigga. All right, let me go ahead and shout out to C. Douglas. What up, man? Shout out to the brother C. Douglas. BOA, I had reached out to you a few weeks ago about coming back onto the platform. We had a very successful show the last time you came up. Shout out to Mr. Limba. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite channels out there. Go subscribe to that, brother, Mr. Limba, the mighty one. BOA, and I asked you for a topic, brother, and you always, like my grandma used to always say, God always got a ram in the bush, right? So I didn't have a topic today, brother, but you had one, and you want to talk about the 7 alpha perspectives that these brothers need, in the 7 perspective that they need to be looking at from this point of view. Let's talk about what influenced your decision. We'll talk about this today, brother.
I know for a fact. Now, I'm not going to say I believe, but I know for a fact there's some misconceptions about what an alpha male is. And most of these misconceptions are perpetuated by men who simply have never lived the alpha experience. And I'm not saying that makes those men, less of men or makes them have a life that's terrible. What I'm saying is this: I truly believe that if you haven't had an experience in something, then you're not qualified to speak on it. I mean, if you don't have one college credit, you can't tell me what it's like to get a college degree, man. If you're not a barber, don't tell me how to cut my hair and trim my beard. You have to be, effectively involved in any aspect of life that you choose to speak on, or either you just somebody that's popping lip and you probably hating a little bit as well. So I just wanted to clarify some things, man, because contrary to, what anyone may believe, you know what I'm saying? I have the history to back up my teachings, to back up my knowledge, to back up the information that I share with the brothers of the Alphasphere. And I just wanted to make some clarifications today, man, so we can finally, put this thing to rest and everybody can go back to talking about shit they know about and stop talking about alpha.
Let me ask you this, Dr. BOA. That's another moniker that he uses here, Dr. Professor BOA. I know we're going to talk about the 7 alpha perspectives, and I probably wasn't ready for this question, but in your opinion, what is the beta perspective before we kind of lead it in your opinion? What is the beta's perspective in your opinion?
The beta, to keep it simple, the beta's perspective is a feminine outlook on a masculine existence.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter if you're beta or alpha or red pill or blue pill, you still have to live the life of a man. And when you approach life as a man from a perspective of a female, then you're going to have a bunch of issues because female perspective doesn't work in a man's space. You know what I'm saying? If something happens to you in life as a man, you can't be going around crying, trying to join a group of a support group and shit and, going and crochet and knit and play bridge and all that, man. There ain't no such thing as a boy's trip. It's a girl's trip. You know what I'm saying? We don't do things like that. We go out the country and kick it. You know what I'm saying? And we don't do it because we having problems or we need to get away from our relationship or we got heartbroken or something like that, man. When you pursue situations from a feminine perspective as a man, you're gonna get the results that a woman gets. And guess what? Those results work for women. You're gonna be miserable as hell if you get those results as a man, though. And that's the beta perspective, man. The beta is the man who says, well, I should wine and dine the woman that I don't even know. I should value her sex even though she's given it to 10 men before me. It doesn't matter if she's got a child by another man. I can be a better farter than he can. That's the beta male perspective, man. Like, when you think about it, bro, it's basically based on an illogical outlook.
Okay.
Nothing the beta male perceives is logical.
Okay, let me. No, that's a good perspective. Let me ask you this because, brother BOA, this is what I've found in many cases. Everybody thinks. Okay, let me say this. Right, I was watching Family Feud, and Steve Harvey asked a question to 100 men: how good are you in bed? Right, and from a scale of 1 to 10. And they asked the contestants that, do you know how many of those 100 people said 10?
Yeah, probably all of them.
You're right.
A good portion of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. All of them, right? Now, we know that can't
right.
be true. I want to talk about, before we get into your 7 alpha perspectives, my brother, how many guys do you think that feel that they're alpha, but really are not? And let's talk about the fake alpha, brother. I know we come across these guys all the time. How do you diagnose this particular brother? If I'm a brother listening to this, I think I'm an alpha male, but maybe I'm not. How do I know?
There are three questions you ask yourself. Do you control every aspect of your life? If not, you're not alpha. You can't control five and don't control the other five. Like if you don't control every aspect of your life, you don't even understand what it feels like to be alpha. You don't know, you don't understand the outlook. You can't speak on it. And this isn't a knock on anyone's life, but if you got to get up every day and go to a job and somebody your boss, you're not alpha. He's the alpha at your job. If you're in a relationship at home and you got a 50-50 relationship or some shit like that, or even a 60-40 relationship, at hell, some of these boys got a relationship where they woman to run everything. And they get the crumbs that she give them. You know, that you can't be alpha in that scenario, man. Alpha is simply about controlling your entire environment. I control my environment. I wake up when I want to. I do what I want to do. I plan my schedule the way I want to. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, I was tired, man. I stayed up late working, man. So I called all my clients that I was supposed to see yesterday, and I told them, look, man, we'll just do an extra 30 minutes on Friday for everybody, and we'll make up for the workout we didn't do because I was tired, man. I didn't want to go. You know what I'm saying? Nobody was there to tell me, well, these clients are waiting on you. You better not lose these clients. Hey, man, if they decide they don't want to work with me, then they just don't want to work with me. Nobody's going to come down on me or anything. Another thing, man, when it comes to, how I live my life, like where I go, what I do, I wake up and just do whatever I feel, man. Like that's alpha existence. I do whatever I feel. I don't have problems I don't deal with women who I have to ask for sex. You know what I'm saying? That shit ain't for me. I'm not asking for anything. I deal with women who find me so attractive that they're waiting for me to want to be sexually engaged with them. And I know that shit sounds cocky, and it may be a little cocky to someone who doesn't live it, but to me, it's just my life. Do I have every woman in the world? No. Is every woman that I ever had a dime piece? No. But I've had some bad chicks though. You know what I'm saying? Got a couple now. Is every woman I deal with a dime? No, I don't. No woman is a dime. 9.4 is the best she can get. Bitch got a book in her nose or something that's gonna knock that 0.4 off, that 0.6 off. But, I say, the true perspective is, man, just being able to control every perspective of your life. You understand what I'm saying? And so some of the men that you think, like you look at a cat like Bill Gates. Bill Gates, we can look at it and say, well, he's alpha financially. I've seen Bill Gates interact with his wife. His wife runs shit. Bill Gates is not alpha just because he has money. And men who don't understand what alpha is, they try to break it down. Well, he's alpha financially, or he's a sexual alpha. Man, let me tell you something, man. You can't break it down. Either you're alpha or you're not. You're improving yourself, and maybe you live more alpha than the normal man in some aspects of your life. But if you knock all the women down, man, but you got a job and your boss treats you like shit at work, man, how you gonna call yourself any kind of alpha? It all balances out. You know what I'm saying? If you're beta in one area, it cancels out you being alpha in another area. So, I mean, you're just a dude trying to build yourself up to a certain perspective, man.
I see. Okay. Let me go ahead. Shout out to Brotha. Well, what's good, fam? Thank you for the super chat. Brother K. Jonesy, O'Shea, what's up? Sam, I do big up O'Shea. Thank you. Brother Terrence, be $1.02. Thank you, my brother. C. Douglas, what up, man? Again, thank you, brothers, for being here. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to Brother BOA. We got 166 people here. We need more likes. Let's kind of get into some of the first things that we want to talk about. I know we got 7 that we're working with today. What's number one, brother? Let's take us to the first perspective that the alpha sees that maybe the beta doesn't see.
Man, I hope you got the list over there, man. Did you write the list down, man?
Yeah, I got it over here, brother. You want me to go ahead and read it off to you?
Yeah, go ahead and read it out to me.
Go ahead. Okay, so the first perspective is the relationships with women. Number 2 is dealing with other men. 3, finances, not being influenced by emotions, loving the nature of women, spirituality, and self-confidence. Let's talk about the relationships with women.
Perfect way to start.
Okay.
The number one thing about relationships with women is men want women to be this fantasy of what they think a woman should be, because they live in a fantasy world. They've been reading romance novels and watching movies with the girl and watching Lifetime movies and going to watch, Waiting to Exhale and shit. They've been watching all these movies and all that instead of living in the truth of life. And the truth of life is this: women are who they are. It's kind of like, just like, working out and getting fit is what it is. I mean, if you want to get fit, there's certain shit you got to do. You got to accept the fact that this will get you fit and that will not. By the same perspective, you also have to understand with women that women are going to respond a certain way to certain things. It doesn't matter who they are. I mean, she can be a butch dyke, but there's certain shit she gonna respond to. That's how every now and then a butch dyke end up getting knocked down by somebody. And everybody I know whoever knocked the butch dyke down, including myself, says, man, some of the best loving he ever had in his life. Because it's all been pent up for so long. And when she finally allows that femininity to flood, it's some amazing interaction, man. Some amazing sex, man. She'll even dress up, man, and put on something sexy for you, man, like feminine and sexy. But a lot of brothers don't even understand this perspective because they're too busy trying to convince themselves that women are wrong for not being what they want them to be. Hey, man, if your woman is a scallywag, man, and she's a thought, so what, man? You got to deal with her like a thought. Thoughts are fun in some ways. You know what I'm saying? If your woman is a stripper, hey, man, guess what? You get to get a lap dance before you have sex. You know, if your woman is all about her money and she ain't that good at sex, guess what? You got somebody, man, who gonna invest in some businesses with you. What men want is for one woman to be everything. That's the only reason you would settle down and marry one woman, because you believe one woman can give you everything. And it's just not realistic, man. It's not realistic.
Let me ask you this, because you have a lot of brothers and women themselves that have been conditioned that, hey, you know, you need to be in a monogamous relationship and things like that. You know, you shouldn't have more than one woman. How do you get over? How does the alpha get around that when the beta guy is kind of stuck in that one lane?
I've never seen it work. I don't know any happily married men who've been married longer than 5 years. Yeah, when the novelty is still new and fresh, yeah, everybody can be happy with the first 2 to 5 years. Find me a man that's happily married as he portrays in front of his woman after about 5 years, 6 years, somewhere around that range. I don't know any men who are happily married. Let me tell you something, how you tell if a man is happily married. If you see a man, he's lean and fit when he gets married, if he's still lean and fit 10 years later, that man is happily married. If you see a man that's living a certain quality of life and he's doing things that he enjoys and he's still doing those things 10 years later, that's a happy man. You know, if you see a man who is, you know, he seems happy every time you see him, it seems like he's enjoying life. You see that same man, you rarely see him smile anymore. That man is not happy. He plays that happy role because he realizes he's put himself in a situation that his woman controls. The least alpha situation that a man can ever be in with a woman is marriage. And I know that's not a popular thing to say, especially with the females in the chat, but it's the reality of life, you know, and they should understand. Hell, they initiate 80% of the divorces. How women gonna act like they don't understand that marriage is a dead end when they initiate 80% of the divorces? You see what I'm saying? Men have to look at the truths of life. The falsification of the facts is that women love marriage and you give a woman marriage, she's going to be happy. The truth of life is that 80% of the 50% of marriages end in divorce. 80% of those marriages, those divorces are initiated by women. And for black women and black men in marriages, it's even higher. So we're not talking about something I'm making up. We're talking about the facts of life. Why in the hell would I do something that everybody else fails at? If 20% of if 50% of men fail at something, and the 50% who fail, they're always cashed out on by their female, why in the hell would I put myself in that situation? There we go again with that illogical nature of the beta mind.
How does the beta mind form, in your opinion?
The beta mind is raised by females and feminine men. You know, if you're raised, I mean, all of these things are based on your environment as a child. The way you're raised determines what kind of adult you're going to be. That's just the bottom line. That's how it is. And the majority of these men who believe that perspective are taught that perspective because that's the fantasy of women. Women read romance novels. Women support networks like Lifetime. Women go out and look at all these Tyler Perry movies and all of this craziness, man. Dudes who do that growing up, they have the same outlook as women. They feel like the best thing they can do is give a woman what she wants, as opposed to a man who's raised by men. He sees women giving a man what he wants, and then he knows that's his life. If a woman wants to be around me, then she's gonna do it my way or no way, or she can be gone. I'm perfectly fine with not having a woman that I'm in a relationship with, because I'm still gonna be able to knock down some bad. You know what I'm saying? Bad to me anyway. So, you know, when it comes to all that, if men made women prove themselves before they jumped into these crazy relationships with them, then they find out before they jumped into it and dove off in the deep end, only to realize ain't no water in the damn pool, and they bust their head on the bottom of the pool, that women are not willing to put in the amount of work these days that would be necessary for a real man to enter into that type of scenario with them. That's why the beta male gets all the wives.
Okay, all right. let me kind of get to this. And guys, we're here in the building. How many of you brothers in here need to be subscribed to BOA? Let me know. For those of you who are watching the restream, make sure you subscribe to the book of Alpharanomy in the description. Let's talk about number 2, which is probably my favorite one, right? Because we always talk about in this corner of YouTube about dealing with women, trying to get game, dealing with women from a position of strength and all of that. Very rarely are we talking about dealing with other men, which we most likely deal with other men much more than dealing with women. Why is this an important perspective for you?
The main problem with dealing with men is you have to determine if a man views perspective from a masculine, if he views life from a masculine perspective or a feminine perspective. I say this: women are difficult enough to have around you all the time. Like their emotional overload turns into, sometime laughing, sometime crying, sometime wishing they were dying, sometime enjoying life, sometime, want to be around you, other time want to be by themselves. And it's fine for her to do that. You just don't want to have to deal with it every day. But you expect that from female. You can expect a female to exhibit female nature. When you see a man who exhibits female nature, that man is toxic. He's poisonous to your life. That man is going to bring negative energy with him, not because it's your energy, because it's his energy. And it's kind of like if there's a guy that's going around robbing everybody, every D boy on the block getting robbed by this cat, everybody knows it. And they see me and this cat hanging out. Guess who's going to be guilty by association? Guess who's going to get some of that negative energy? You guessed it, the doctor, BOA. So when you deal with men, you need to only deal with men on a personal level who have like minds. That's why when you see somebody running with a crew and they got 20 people with them, man, they got some snakes in their grass, man. They just ain't got sense enough to break the lawnmower out and keep their grass low. And especially when you're alpha, nowhere in the world, in the animal kingdom, in human nature, in anything, are you going to find a group of alphas all hanging in a tight circle together. There's going to be some rank pulling. There's going to be some outranking. There's going to be some out angling. Somebody's going to probably end up losing their life, man, because, there are certain things that are going to take place. And, another thing about dealing with men is this, man. You have to understand the nature of men as well. Men are competitive by nature. I just posted a video this morning, man, about how, I think it was last night, about how your woman is the only one who wants to see you win. You know what I'm saying? If you are a man and you're alpha, you're masculine, a woman is going to fall in the line and follow you. And she's going to be willing to do whatever it takes to see you win, because all women want to be attached to the winner. All women want to be on a winning team because they know in this world they can't win. A woman can't win in a man's world. They know it. That's why they fight for their rights, so to speak. They can't win in a man's world. So they want to be equal in a man's world, which means they really want to be in charge in a man's world. But we don't cover that here.
I know that's right. Now.
You have to understand that men don't want to be a part of the winning team. They want to be the winning team. And so if you're the winning team, they don't want to be on your team. They want to figure out how to knock you off your pedestal so they can take over the winning team. That's the mindset you have to have. There are a few men who don't want to do that. Me included, being one of those men. Like, I don't attack my homies. You know what I'm saying? If we cool, we cool. If we ain't, then I don't fuck with you. I'm not going to act like I like you when I don't. I'm not going to act like I support you when I don't. You know what I'm saying? If I dislike you, then you're going to know I dislike you, because when you roll up and say, what up, BOA, I'm just going to look at you like you crazy. Like, what this nigga speaking to me for? I'm going to let you know immediately that you and I don't vibe like that. So when you think about dealing with men, you have to deal with all men with a long handled spoon, and only shorten that spoon when those men prove themselves worthy of shortening that spoon. Everybody gets the long handled spoon treatment from me initially. We were talking about off camera, man, how when I first came on the platform, I was standoffish. I ain't really deal with nobody.
Right, that's right. I know that for a fact.
It's hard to figure out how people are online. Everybody can present the image of who they are online, but I slowly start dealing with some of these brothers, man, chopping it up with them offline or through email or whatever, and start to realize that we actually do share some of the same experiences. And from there, and then Patreon helped out a lot too. You know what I'm saying? It helped me develop a more personal relationship, with some of the men who support me. And that kind of brought me, brought me out of my shell, because I was a hermit, man. Like, I grew up in an environment, man, where trust gets niggas killed. That's what happened to Nipsey Hussle. Trusting your environment gets you killed, man. And I know men that what happened to Nipsey happened to them. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I had fucking 3 homies, man, I lost in a weekend while I was in high school. 10th grade. I got 3 10th graders got killed, man, while I was in high school. So, I've been seeing it forever, man. And so you got to deal with men You have to look at the rawest version of yourself, the most dishonorable version of yourself, the one that will only come out if somebody digs in there and pulls it out, the animal. And you have to understand that whatever that animal will do, every man around you has that same animal. It just takes different things to pull it out.
Okay, let me do this real quick. Um, some people are asking for the link to the Book of Alpharanomy YouTube channel. Let me do this. Let me get some of you brothers in here, and I want to talk to you a little bit about uh, the Nipsey Hussle situation. But for those brothers that are there, make sure that you're liking the video as you're coming in, and the moderators. We're going to see, because the Book of Alpharanomy currently has a lot of shit. Let me go ahead and get it here. Damn, man, white man hold me back. So I'm gonna put the link in the description, you guys. Make sure that you subscribe and then hit the sub bell. And then if you do that, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna basically shout you out. All right, for those of you who do it. But let me talk to you about this. Let's talk about the Nipsey Hussle situation a little bit, man. I know it's been a big talk on YouTube, but what do you think about this Tristan situation? And then obviously, do you think Nipsey was a little bit overconfident dealing with a brother like this? What's your perspective of the whole thing for what you know?
I think, man, that he kind of viewed himself in a God light. You know what I'm saying? Like it's possible to view yourself in a God light where you feel like you're so loved and respected and even feared that you just can't be touched in your comfort zone. And the problem with that is no man should have a comfort zone outside of his home. When you're off your property, that comfort zone shit goes out the window. You know what I'm saying? Because where you don't, you simply can't trust any environment that you can't control. You know what I'm saying? You can control your home environment more than you control any other environment in your life. And when you get outside of that, for you to be in that comfort zone and have that God complex, man, it's easy to get caught slipping, man. And he literally got caught slipping. You know what I'm saying? I saw the footage of the shooting, man, like he got caught with his pants down. You know what I'm saying? Didn't have no homies with him, didn't have no goons around him, didn't have no shooters with him. And the bottom line is this: even if I'm gonna get shot, if you roll up on me and I'm in my spot and I get shot, I bet you ain't gonna make it out of there. They're gonna need 2 ambulances because both our ass gonna be laid up. Somebody around there with me gonna put their iron on you before you creep away from that. And that's the bottom line. The same thing happened with Snoop. So when Snoop caught that attempted murder case when back early in his career,
Yeah.
that happened because Snoop had a shooter with him. And who knows, maybe Snoop shot the dude, but I know Snoop had a shooter with him that was willing to take the charge.
Right.
That was willing to say, hey, I shot him. I'm his bodyguard. This cat rolled up. The same thing that was about to happen to Nipsey seems like that's what was about to happen to Snoop, but Snoop had his shooters with him. You cannot be out here in an environment where people don't have anything and think that once you get something, they still look at you as the same. If we're all broke, we're homies. Mm-hmm. We looking at the people who got money, trying to plot on them and see how to get money out of them. Once you become one of those people who got money, the broke dudes are looking at you like that now. And some of your homies are gonna be those same broke dudes, man, who they just don't want to see you win, man. Everybody want to see you grind. They love to see you grind. They support the underdog. Let's all get behind the underdog. We don't want the Patriots to win. Let's support the other team, no matter who the other team is. Let's support them. I'm tired of the Patriots winning. That's how people feel about you, man, when you're no longer the underdog. You go from being loved to being hated. Period.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the way it goes, man.
Let me do this. Let me ask you this. And shout, now you got Anthony Brian Logan in here. Now you must be somebody if ABL stopped by. You never heard him before?
Anthony Brian Logan, man. I hate to say I haven't, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I have to check him out though.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to gravitate toward other people comment, man. Like I said, I've been a hermit like a motherfucker, man. But I'm Anthony Logan Brown.
Yes. Anthony Logan Brown. That's no Anthony Brian Logan. Let me shout. I'm gonna start calling Anthony Logan Brown. I'm gonna start calling that.
You had to put me on blast like that, man.
No.
I called the man name wrong.
Yeah, man. No, I like that though. I'm gonna start calling because he be trolling me all the time, man. Shout out to Paris Milan. She was in here earlier too. Let me ask you this, brother, because you teach a lot of good stuff, and then you consult with a lot of brothers and stuff. I heard it's a lot of good experiences talking to you offline. What happens when these brothers, start transforming themselves and they start leaving other brothers behind? And these are all the people that they know. All they may know is, certain parts of, Texas, certain parts of California, Colorado, or whatever. but then they start to basically elevate themselves, and they start to get in different circles. How do you handle that situation where, people are starting to hate on you because you're doing a lot better? Or, how do you do that? What's the key to that?
Man, I think the first thing you have to do is the thing see, it's funny when you still have to live by hood rules. When you're still searching for that hood respect, when you make that transition, that's where the lines get blurred. Because in the hood, you look weak. You're supposed to be this gangster, this rolling 60s crip. You can't be rolling around with bodyguards. Shit, watch me. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what hood I'm in, man. If I'm in the hood and my money get good all of a sudden, man, I'm gonna be bodyguarded up. If you don't like it, do something. Watch my boys put their iron on you. The problem is when you're in that environment and you're still seeking to be respected in that environment, there are certain things that the normal successful person does that you can't do and still be respected in that environment. So you got two choices. You either leave that environment completely or you take the chance that Nipsey took. And that chance could often turn into what it turned into. My suggestion is, man, you just leave. You know what I'm saying? You upwardly mobile, you leave. I mean, the people who are on your team, hey man, you can pull them out of there with you. That's the key. You pull people out of there with you. You can still affect your environment without having to live in it and be in it, hanging out every day. You know what I'm saying? A rich man cannot hang out where he hung out as a poor man. That's just the life. I mean, you can't live in the same area. Hell, you can't shop in the same areas, man. Eventually, somebody who hates your existence because you did what they couldn't do, it's gonna get a hold to you, man.
Whoa, say it again, because you did what? Something they couldn't do, brother?
Yeah, man. Somebody who you outworked, who you outgained, who you outachieved, is gonna hate that you still live, and eventually they're gonna catch you, man, if you hang in that environment. I've seen it happen too many times over my life, man. I had a homie, man, when I was when I got out of high school, man. He had a plug. He was the first one with the plug. And when I say, man, when he plugged in quick, we didn't even know who his plug was at first. But he was the man. He was our plug. And man, when I say, man, he came the first time we saw him, he came down in a candy painted turquoise Seascape Corvette drop top. And we ain't talking about this. I ain't gonna say what year it was. Then people be like, I know who you're talking about, but hey, it was brand new. You know what I'm saying? Like he was the first one that had driven it. And within 6 months, man, they found him in a graveyard, man, in a shallow grave, man, with his wood in his mouth. You know what I'm saying? But he was still in the same environment. You know what I'm saying? And of course, in that environment, people do things in a way that make you think it may be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like if you do something like that, say, well, maybe he had mob ties. No, we all know who did it. But we were in an environment where, man, you can't talk. The same thing that went on with Nipsey, man. If this guy hadn't come out, man, nobody's gonna tell. No matter how cold you are, no matter who you are, no matter how famous you are, no matter how much you help the environment, in that environment, nobody's gonna tell who killed you. So your life is worthless to them in life and in death once you become a made man.
Wow. I didn't think about it like that, brother, but you definitely dropping some facts. Now, let me just do this. Let me go ahead on and go to the other part, that you have here. And let me go on managing the finances, brother. I know you talk about that, about, some of these brothers getting into business and stuff. Shout out to AM1 in the chat. Why is managing finances at that perspective such a good thing or big thing?
I think the one key factor that I think about when I think about brothers managing their finances is that at some point you have to become a seller and not a buyer. At some point you have to become a business and not a consumer, because you're going to consume regardless. But your entire financial perspective can't be based on being a consumer. Like you're gonna live broke, you're gonna die broke in that perspective. And then you know what's gonna happen? Your children are gonna live broke and they're gonna die broke. At some point, someone has to break the cycle. Why not you? Are you going to depend on your children to break the cycle when you can break it for them and give them the head start that white children get, by and large, that Asian children get, by and large, that even a whole lot of Hispanic children get, by and large? Hell, even African immigrants who come here, man, their children get it by and large. Yeah, you may say, well, they come in and they can get this and they can get that. So what? We've been here hundreds of years. Shit, we should be to have that by now.
Right.
The problem with the black man is you're always looking at what everybody else has. And he's saying, well, why didn't I get that handout? Because you ain't going to get it. Period. You got to work for yours. You got to grind for yours. If they were going to give it to you, they'd be going to give it to you by now. Ain't no reparations. What we gonna do? Wait, we gonna all wait till we 60, 70 years old to wait for some reparations and keep fighting for it? Come on, man, get on your grind. Make their reparations be unnecessary for yourself.
Right.
Create a legacy for your children. You ain't trying to get rich. You're trying to give your children freedom, man.
Right.
Hell, you want to be a financial slave for the rest of your life, man, when you don't have to. I just get tired of brothers, man, talking about how, somebody, they're getting up doing something every day they hate. They're going to work for somebody that really don't like them, talk to them like they're less than a man. And 10, 20 years, you get used to that. Before you know it, you don't remember what it feels like to be a man. So even when the opportunity comes for you to expand your financial horizon, you feel safe. You get into that safe zone. Well, I don't know what's going to happen over there. I know if I go to work here every week, I'm going to get that check. Yeah, you're going to get that check, man. That still got you living check to check. You know what I'm saying? Black men have to take fiscal responsibility, man.
Right.
Black men complain about child support. The majority of black men who complain about it are not fiscally responsible. So when you're not fiscally responsible, things that are your financial responsibility become a burden to you. It's your financial responsibility to care for your child, man. Why in the hell you complain about that? When the child is with the woman makes sacrifices that you don't even have to make if you just paying child support. Sometimes she may have to go without a meal so the child can eat. And of course, we ain't talking about scallywags, man. The majority of black women aren't scallywags. That's another thing I'm tired of hearing. The majority of black women are, what did TJ Sotomayor call it? BTs. And no, they're not, man. The BTs are in a certain environment. If you're a grown man and you still in that environment, you don't need to listen to no part of this except the financial part. You fucked up out here, man. So I say this, man. As a black man, you have to look at where you want to be. And where you want to be should be so far from where you are right now that you accept the fact that doing what you're doing right now, unless you're doing everything you can to build yourself into the best version of yourself, what you're doing right now isn't going to get you there. No black man should be looking to retire at 62. I mean, unless your ass already 58, then I don't really need you shit. You're almost there. If you're younger than 50, this is real talk. If you're younger than 50, you got 12. If you're 50 right now, man, you got 12 years to get to 52, man. You know what I'm saying? Right. If your goal is to make 10,000 a month, to make 10,000 a month, all you need is 1,000 people to support your business and spend $10 a month. That's 120,000 a year. If you got 1,000 people that's willing to spend $10 a month, or 10 people that's willing to spend $1,000 a month, however you want to spend it, that's still 120,000 a year. Very few black men are making 120,000 a year at their job. Very few. Very few people in America, period, are making 120,000 a year, because 250 puts you in the 1%.
Right.
People don't know that. People think you got to make $1 million to be in the 1%. No, everybody else so broke that $250,000 puts you in the 1%. Roughly $250,000, somewhere between $250,000 and 300, put you in the 1%. So, I don't understand what black men are doing around here, man. We're spending all our money on shit that don't make no sense. And, we copying off people who get everything they get free. Why is a man who work a job out here trying to buy jewelry with a diamond piece on his neck, trying to copy off some rapper when the rapper wearing the jewelry for free because the jewelry maker just cut him a deal? He getting paid to wear the jewelry, so other people shop at the jewelry maker jewelry store, man. Come on, man. Shit makes no sense, man. Makes no sense.
I'm telling you. So let me kind of go into this one, guys. Listen, I see a lot of brothers in here talking about, man, the brother talented. Okay, y'all better subscribe to the brother. We have everybody who's here need to be subscribing to BOA. And I ask you, brother, for two things. Always subscribe to our guests and hit the bell on our channel. But also, if you're here, always hit the thumbs up button, right? Because it lets me know, lets BOA know that you're really appreciating what we're doing. BOA, before we do this, and go to the next one, do you mind if we give the brothers a little bit of shout out, so that we can? Sometimes I do it on my stream, and basically we just want to see where people calling from or where they from at, so we can see how many people listen to the great BOA right now, from all parts of the world. Do you mind if we do that real quick?
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that, bro.
Okay, let's do that. We want to know where you guys are from right now, right? So for the next 2 or 3 minutes in the live stream, if you like the video, comment your city and state, because I want to tell brother BOA if he can see it too. We want to see where you brothers and sisters are from, but mostly you men, right? So if you guys in the next 1 to 2 minutes, you comment your city and state, I will basically shout you out. Thank you, S&J Consulting Services from Baltimore, Maryland. Sam Madu from Newark, New Jersey. Thank you. Ron Star, Atlanta. Oh, but oh man, there's so many of them. They want them shouts out, brother. Obena, Onua, Dallas, Texas. Thank you, brother. TSC Canada, DC, Bruce Taylor, Chicago, Andre Edwards, Birmingham. Related to you? No, not at all. Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you. Hand sanitizer, NYC. Ron, you already put your goddamn name on there once, Negro. All right, stop being greedy. David Warren, Shenanigans City, New York. Anthony Bolton, Memphis. Thank you so much. Third Degree Burns, Crenshaw Boulevard, 4711. Thank you, brother. Shout out to you. Flato Bloy, 8419, Oakland. Thank you for subscribing. Excalibur. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. There's so many people in here, brother. Now, all right. We got let's see. All right, David. Okay, you got that already. Anthony Bolton, Memphis. Okay. Now, Women Brown, Buffalo, East Smooth, Minneapolis, Mark Swift, Boston, JC Riggs, Gainesville, MJ Hines, Jacksonville, Florida. Thank you, McCann, Cornell, CMD County, New Jersey, Donnie Links, Northeast DC. Thank you, Donnie Links, for all your support. Pax Gucci, St. Lucia. All right, Jordan Johnson, Wacala, Florida. Thank you, brothers. Jamias, Houston. Now, I want all of you brothers, we shouting out to subscribe to Brother BOA. Don Tex, thank you, brother. Charleston, South Carolina, thank you for being here. And James Phoenix, all about the dollar, Atlanta. Third Degree Burns. Brother, you already done said Crenshaw, brother. Stop being greedy with the shout outs. This is why I'm gonna stop doing it. You niggas don't know how to, come on now. Sean Wilson, Pennsylvania, Mike Shirley, Tucson, John Williams, Greensboro, Quentin Montanado, thank you, brother, Colorado, Frontline Barber, Toronto, Michael Watley, Roanoke, John Paul, what up? Thank you, brother John Paul, out of Las Vegas. All right, K. Jonesy, Bay Area, Chicago, Doug out of Virginia. All right, that's enough for right now. We get to the rest of you. Mike Shobes, NYC, New Jersey, Kazim, New York, Richard Lovelace, Chicago, BP Thomas, thank you. AJ MAK, New Jersey, City said, shout out. Mobile, Alabama, Chris Bernard, Greensboro. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. All right, that's enough. All right, let's go back to BOA. So you got a lot of people listen to you right now, brother. Listen to this game right now. BOA, let's talk about, basically this other situation. I believe it was managing finances, and then now we have not being influenced by emotions. Now, here's a hard problem for a lot of brothers, man. They've been growing up, but see these single mothers. Shout out to brother Jay Shine out there in Germany, and Rashad and Riley. What do we do with these brothers, man, that not controlling their emotions?
One of the main problems with men who function off emotion is they don't look at the results of their lives. See, anytime as a man you function off emotion, you get bad results. Like, you can never get positive results as a man functioning from the influence of your emotions, man. If that's your response, you're gonna respond to a man's situation from a female perspective, and that shit never works, because we simply don't find ourselves in the same situations that women find themselves in. We simply don't. And when you have a man around you who functions off emotion, you simply have to cut him loose. You can't help a man who's in that mind space. The cat who killed Nipsey, no matter what Nipsey said, if we're talking about a word gets you to the point, man, where you take a man's life and ruin yours as well. Like, you are so emotional that no one was going to be able to get through to this man. See, we as black men have to understand some niggas can't be helped.
Say it again. Say it again, brother.
But some niggas can't be helped.
Yes, sir, brother.
That's in every walk of life. Not everyone is going to be a part of the coalition of men who are going to improve themselves. Some cats are going to be left behind. If that was the case, then the world will be such a positive place. We'd be, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We'd all be Mr. Rogers. But that's not the reality of life. The reality of life is only 2 out of 10 men. They say 3, but I say 2, because the third dude, he going to be kind of wishy-washy anyway. Only 2 out of 10 men are going to even have the desire to become the most alpha masculine version of themselves. That is why women outnumber us so much. They don't outnumber us. See, people take biblical scriptures and take them out of context because they don't view them from a spiritual perspective. When you look at a biblical scripture that says women were out, in that day, women will outnumber men 7 to 1. There will be 7 women to 1 man. It's not saying 7 women to 1 male. It's saying 7 women to 1 man. Man has a distinct definition, and just because you're an adult with a penis does not make you a man. Man is internal. Masculinity is internal. Alpha-itis is internal. Beta-itis is internal. So when we look at these things, men are at a shortage. There is a shortage of men. And nothing we can do is going to go out and turn all these men into these amazing men that they have the potential to be. The problem is most of them don't have the potential to be those type of men. Everybody wants to listen to the content. It sounds good. It's entertaining. But how many men actually listen to this content, man, and apply it to their lives? How many men are listening right now in a closet because their old lady can't listen to them, listen to this alpha shit? You know what I'm saying? You know, how many men can't let their job know that this is the perspective that they view things from? Life itself can be the hindrance that keeps men from becoming the man of their dreams, not the man of women's dreams, not the man of society's dreams, the man of your dreams. Life can be the hindrance that keeps you from doing that. And very few men have man, you got to have gorilla gonads to live an alpha life, man. You got to take so many chances and risk, but you take risk every day. The average man doesn't want to take risk on himself. He'll take risk on a job. He'll believe that this job is going to be here forever. He'll take a risk on a woman. He'll believe that this woman is going to have his back forever. He'll take risk on doing something illegal. He'll believe that he'll never get caught. But when it comes to taking a chance on himself for what he stands for, many men are not willing to take that chance because they don't see the value in themselves. And any man who doesn't see the value in themselves is no man at all. And I'm not in the business of trying to make niggas become men. If you don't already want to be a man, there's one thing to want to be a man and need to be led into manhood. Like, I don't want none of that manhood stuff. It's too hard. I'd rather just be a beta male simp mangina. I'd rather be a grown boy. I ain't got time for that dude. He can't be helped, man. Trying to help him is a waste of time and energy.
Well, you cooking with some hot grease today, man. But you gotta see that chat right now. Oh man, the brother is cooking with some hot grease. You know, I always got the best brothers coming through here. You know, I'm proud of myself for reaching out to this brother. Okay, he making me look good right now. You know what I mean? I'm trying to tell you, the brother got he got something going. Let's talk about number 5, brother. We on number 5. You have loving the nature of women. What do you mean by that? How does the alpha man look? You know, what is his perspective towards this particular category?
You know, man, when most men talk about the nature of women, they speak on it from a negative perspective. They speak on hypergamy. Well, she's always going to date up. Well, guess what? If I'm at the highest level she can get, she can't date up. You're worried about that because you're putting yourself in the position you need to be in. Of course, if you don't strive to become the most alpha version of yourself, then you're going to meet a woman who is going to probably be able to look at you and say, I can do better. You know what I'm saying? You put yourself in a certain position. The women on that level are going to say, you know, I better not mess this up. That's my experience in life. So my experience with female nature is, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. And somebody may say, well, you're a beta male simp mangina, BOA. Man, the hell with you. You don't know what you're talking about. When you look at the nature of women and beautiful women, and we all as men want women we're attracted to. I ain't gonna never tell a man to go monk and live the rest of his life without women, because I don't believe a man can, and I believe you do. You cuckoo. Something wrong with your brain. So when you think about that, the nature of women is one of the motivating factors. Pimps are motivated by the nature of women. Like, pimps become the best version of themselves, the most paid version of themselves, the cockiest version of themselves, because they understand what women like. Women want to be on the winning team. That's why I tell men, if you ain't got your stuff together, you wasting time dealing with women, man. You're going to deal with things like hypergamy, and you're going to deal with things like, you know, a woman not respecting you, and you're going to deal with all these things. Since the beginning of time, the men who got the women were always the men of substance. Even in biblical times, you couldn't go to a man and say, hey, man, I ain't got no money. I ain't got no sheep. I ain't got no cattle. I ain't got no land. I ain't got nothing. But your daughter look good. I want her. Man, that man going to put that iron on your ass. Whatever weapon they had back then, that's what going to put on you. I tell you to get out of his way. You understand? You have to pay men. You have to give men gifts to get their virgin daughters back then, man. Now, I know somebody going to say, well, ain't no virgins today. Okay, we ain't talking about that. Stick to the topic, man. Don't be a hater. So men have to understand hypergamy is just the nature of women. If you don't want to deal with hypergamy, your ass better date down. You see what I'm saying? If you think you can get a 7 or 8, you better get a 4 or a 5. then you ain't got to worry about that. You got to get a woman who feels like it's a blessing just to have you in her life. And if you're not in the upper echelon of your environment, you don't have to be in the upper echelon of men. I don't have to be a billionaire to be in the upper echelon in my environment. I live in the South. You understand what I'm saying? All the billionaires own farms and pig farms and shit like that where I'm from, man. I don't have to be in that environment, because the thing is, in my environment, to be at the upper echelon, all I gotta do is be a boss. Women are impressed with the fact that I run shit in my life, man. So you may look better than me. You understand? You may even have more money than me. But unless you look better than me, got more money than me, you're a boss, and you got the mouthpiece I got, guess what? I'll knock your chick. She'll feel like she dating up. Hypergamy will be on your ass. So men have to accept the nature of women. The nature of women is a blessing. To know it is a blessing. The only reason men get caught up in relationships that they shouldn't have been in is because they didn't know the nature of women. The only reason men get taken to the cleaners in a divorce because they didn't know the nature of women. The only reason a man end up taking care of a baby that's not his, even though the woman told him she was pregnant by him, because he doesn't know the nature of women. I suggest every man, even if I had a wife, my wife get pregnant, we having a paternity test. There should be a law that says every pregnancy must be met with a paternity test, no matter how long the people been together, no matter what the relationship is. Because ain't no woman finna tell me, hey, I'm pregnant by you. I'm like, okay, we don't know, but we shall see. And every man should have that very same outlook. Women are lovely, man. Everything about women is great. You just have to use them in context. You know not to marry a thought, but when you want to have fun and have the most amazing sexual experience in your life, that's what the thought is for. Nobody's going to give you better loving than a bad thought, man. She don't have no inhibitions. So I just say, man, men have to accept women for who they are and capitalize on who they are. Ain't nobody telling you to go out and get married to no slut. I ain't telling you to go get out and married to nobody. But to say, well, because I can't find a wife, all women suck. Man, you're a sucker. Beta male, simp mangina.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think, BOA, that when brothers look at the woman's nature, like Alan Roger Curry made a video on this similar talking point that you have. Most men cannot accept women's true natures. The video has like almost 100,000 views. Why do you think that a lot of brothers can't look at it from the perspective that you can, or why do some guys get caught up in some of the negative aspects that they do so often? Why is it that way?
Well, I'll address this point first. The men who can't wrap their mind around the concept that this is simply the nature of women are men who are not confident in themselves. They're men who don't believe they deserve to have the quality of woman that they want. And so there are men who can get a woman. I use this number scale. I hate to use this number scale because the number scale only focuses on a woman's physicality. And if I meet a chick that's a 9.4 and she ain't got no money, that automatically drop it to a 7.4. If I meet a chick that's a 7.4 and she paid, that automatically raise her to a 9.4. So my perspective is deeper than just the physical appearance. And even though the numbers are respective to that, I simply can't gauge women by physical appearance alone. I've never been able to do it. I mean, I was raised by pimps after all. Shit, a pimp will take money from a chick that like a go-to broke leg bulldog, man, that she bringing the most money. So I say what men have to understand, O'Shea, is that when you can't accept the nature of women and that's just the way it is, then you can't unravel your mind from the trap that is the feminine outlook. You believe that there is that woman out there who does not have female nature. And that is something a man has to, I guess, go through a number of experiences of heartbreak and being, shown that that's not the case. But then they go through so many, that they end up just swearing women off altogether. Like at a certain point, a man has to understand you have to do a risk reward analysis of a situation, and you also have to look at your past situations and say, what was the payoff versus the risk I took? See, it's easy to look at a current situation and say, okay, if I do this, this is what I'm gonna have to put in, this is what the expected payoff is, fine. Men can't look at their past situations and say that everything in a scenario showed them that that's the nature of women. If you see that women like bad boys, how the fuck is you trying to be a gentleman? Come on, man. Certain women like certain things. You have to gauge your woman by who she is. I mean, the majority of men don't do that. They simply have an expectation of women and they expect women to meet it. But when they don't meet it, they tear the women down. They say the world is a terrible place. Women are scumbags. Women are nothing. Any man who deals with women is a beta male simp mangina, and all of those types of things. Now, to your other point, what was your other point? Oh,
Yeah, no, no,
I
no,
done
no,
got
no.
kind of long winded.
Yeah, no, you're doing good, man. I was actually the point. Shit, I mean, just whatever you wanted to say, because you
Okay,
already
cool,
been
cool.
cooking. Yeah, go ahead. Whatever you want to weigh in,
So,
brother. Go ahead.
and another thing is this, man. Many men can't accept the fact that the woman they want is not the woman they can get. Many men can't accept the fact that, the thing is, if you're fit, then your women's bodies are probably going to be more fit than a man who isn't fit. If you're paid, then you're probably going to be in contact with more women who have money than a man who ain't got no money. This is the reality of it. Every man wants the perfect woman. He wants the 9 or the 10, as they say. He wants the woman who got money. He wants the woman who's a hard worker when he getting up every day going to work at McDonald's. You know what I'm saying? Men don't understand. The bottom line is women desire success. Women desire men who can provide. Men act like that's a problem. She just wants somebody to provide for her. Go trace all the way back to the beginning of time. Women have always wanted to be provided for, man. There was a time where they left from their dad's home providing for them and they went off with a husband. They didn't have rights. They couldn't work. They couldn't make no money. Of course, you got to provide for it. Now, I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
In the modern times, women don't have that issue anymore. If you want to take on a woman who doesn't do anything but rely on you to provide for her, that's a slippery slope because it's not like it was back then. There was no social media during those times. There weren't so many influences to pull a woman into a negative perspective. I say this all the time. And a woman's idle mind is the devil's playground. He's looking forward to it. He jumps on it. He catches her by herself. Her mind is idle. Her man ain't left her with nothing to do. He jumps on it. Ain't no telling what she'll end up doing. A man's idle mind is the devil's workshop. He know he got to plan like hell to pull a man's mind in. There ain't no playground there. He got to bring his hard hat and his lunchbox if you want to get into a man's mind and influence a man to just go out here acting all crazy. So you have to understand there's a certain way you got to deal with the woman who is just going to be a stay-at-home mom. And then there's another way you have to deal with a woman who's going to go out and get money with you. But you still got to be the man. This 50-50 relationship thing, I've met women, man, who they're talking that, well, control is a 50-50 thing. Dominance is a 50-50 thing. So I just hit them with this. I said, well, tell me this. Is protecting and providing a 50-50 thing? Sometimes they say, yeah, they might say, yeah, it's a 50-50 thing. So, okay, well, sometimes, when we out somewhere, I can just let my guard down. Some shit happen, you're going to take care of it. I can just jump behind you and say, get them off us, baby. I can just do that. Well, no, you're taking it out of context. No, you're not keeping it in the proper context. You got to demand what you want from a woman. And really deep down inside, they'll give you what you demand. It's just that so many men are willing to accept whatever the hell they offer. And then when you accept what a woman offers, and if you give a woman an inch, she's going to take a mile. You give her a mile, she's going to take 2. You give her a driver license, she's going to want to fly a space shuttle. You just got to understand that about women. So if you let a woman have her way with you, you can't get on the back end and cry, women ain't nothing. They won't submit. They will if you make them. If you don't give them an option.
No, you definitely.
I know I was all over the place on that one.
No,
man,
no, you it was all in context, brother. Let me do this. We got 343 people in the chat. Let me go ahead and give a brother just dropped the super chat. Now I hear a lot of brothers. Oh, he dropping flames. Don't see you liking the video though. Oh, he cooking, he preaching. Don't see. Listen, I need some action behind. You niggas getting the fake, getting all hyped up. Let me see some actions. And the way I know that you like what he's talking about, because the brother don't have to be over here, right? He could be doing something else. But because he's here, let's subscribe to the brother's channel, okay? And let us like the video. That's how we know that you like what he's talking about. That's how I know. All right, Eric Brown, thank you, $2, brother. He said he has a question. Thank you for the $10 super chat. What's the pros and cons of being an alpha man and a beta man? I don't think this brother is familiar with your content. So what would you answer to that?
I mean, there aren't any pros of being a beta male. Everything about being a beta male is contradictory to manhood. It's a direct contradiction to the life that a man should expect. that a man can be proud of, that a man can enjoy, that a man can teach his son about. So there are no pros to being a beta male. So I won't even try to create none for you. Now, the pros to being an alpha male are the simple fact that you get to wake up every day as a man, as the most masculine definition of a man. You don't have any controllers. You don't have any bosses. You don't have any masters. And someone said earlier, don't pay your taxes and see who's the boss. Okay, that's a part of being a man, paying your taxes. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? That don't mean you got a boss. That just means that's a part of the world you live in. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, washing my ass is a part of the world I live in. The government ain't gonna lock me up if I don't take a bath, but I'm gonna be stinking. I'm gonna take one anyway. So, that's, I understand the point, but I mean, you reaching for straws when you say something like that. But I mean, the thing is, being an alpha man simply gives you control to be who you want to be. There's nothing more liberating than waking up every day saying, this is who I am. I wake up every day, man, look at myself in the mirror and I say, brother, I'm gonna be honest with you. You got a lot of haters out here. You got a lot of detractors out here. You got a lot of people who don't believe in what you stand for. But I love the shit out you, bro. I got your back. I'm gonna live with you. I'm gonna die with you. You know what I'm saying? And I tell myself that from third person. So I truly feel like there's another part of me, the spiritual aspect of me has my back in this physical world. So I move forward with confidence because I know as long as the two of us are on one accord, I'm going to make the decisions that are best for me. And I can live with that. I can live with whatever consequences come with the decisions I make as long as I'm making the decisions I want to make. When you make a decision somebody else wants you to make and you get negative consequences, then you got to deal with the what ifs. The worst space a man can find himself is old, unable to affect his life in a positive manner that much, and have a whole lot of what ifs. What if I had left that job and did my own thing? What if I had started that business? What if I had left that woman? Hell, what if I had kept that woman instead of listening to my homies? She showed me she was down for me. What if I had moved to this city? What if I had done this? What if I had moved out of the country? What if I had taken that interview O'Shea wanted to have with me instead of saying I ain't fucking with O'Shea? You know what I'm saying? What if I had done all of these things that I didn't do? And that's the life you sign up for when you're a beta male simp mangina, because the outlook of the beta male is the same as the female. She needs to be guided. She needs to be told what to do. The only perspective you can count on a woman to be effective in are those things that she does instinctively, like being a mother, being loving, being caring, being nurturing, and some shit that she learns out of a book. If a woman goes to school and gets a master's degree in something, she knows that. You don't have to instruct her anymore. But the whole process of learning that was instruction for her. And
mm-hmm.
any man who views life from that perspective, man, he's going to end up in a situation where he needs to be cared for. He needs to be coddled. He needs to be told everything's going to be okay. Hey, man, an alpha man don't need to hear that because he know everything going to be okay based on his fucking actions.
Okay.
I'm cool. Everything in my life is going to be good. You know why? Because I'm going to work my ass off to make sure it's good. And when I can't grind my ass off to make sure it's good no more, it don't matter. I'm going to be too sick to care, I guess, or dead.
Okay. Let me ask you this, brother. Number 6, you talk about spirituality. Talk to me about this. What's so important about that?
The thing about it, man, is this, and I think the main perspective of being an alpha is what's left out. I never hear men talk about being alpha from a spiritual perspective. You know what I'm saying? And there are many men who, I know somebody in the chat gonna say, well, there ain't no God. You believe in the fantasy man in the sky? Hey man, if that's your perspective on what a spiritual connection with the most high is, man, then you just shut up and listen in this conversation. You don't you talk. You get a notepad or something. So you think about it like this, man. If God is the Alpha and Omega,
Mm-hmm.
like there is no Alpha without that spiritual perspective. There is no Alpha without morality. You understand? There has to be something that keeps you from falling into the beta lane when you don't have the experience of being beta. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you look at beta positions are unmanly, like they're against manhood, they're against masculinity, they're against the perfect nature of the world. So when you find yourself in that situation, a lot of time those men don't have any spiritual foundation to understand what being a man should feel like. If you're in a situation where you're talking about yes, dear, and whatever you want, baby cakes, and your woman talking to you crazy. I give you a perfect example, man. I had a homie, man. Well, he wasn't really my homie, but my homie used to kick it with him. My homie was from their hood. When I tell you he was gutter, homie, I'm talking about gutter. like very well respected on the streets, man. I'm talking about what a head buster. We called him a head buster. That's what he was. You know what I'm saying? You would rather be on his team than be his enemy. He was that type of cat.
Right.
And his mom, his old lady called. Now he called her, man. He called her, had on speakerphone. I don't know why he did this. He had to know she was gonna talk to him like this. So he called his old lady, man. And man, when she answered the phone, what the hell you want? Didn't I tell you I'll call you when I get through? And man, we were like, oh shit, that boy about to jump through the phone on his old lady. Man, that boy said, what, baby? I was just, I was just checking on you. I was concerned about you. What the hell you concerned about me for? I'm grown. Yeah, babe, I know you're grown. I ain't trying to make you mad. And I just wanted to see, if you wanted me to cook something for you, get home. Nigga, I'm at dinner. I told you I was going to dinner. Don't call my phone no more. And hung up on it. I said, damn. This boy's gangster. His old lady just talked to him like a chump. And that's when I realized that a lot of this wild man, wild boy, I'm so tough. If you notice, you never hear Dr. BOA talking about what I do to nobody physically. You never hear me talk about no anger. I'll put that iron on you. I'll run up on you. You'll never hear me doing a whole lot of quoting about my fighting and all that and what I got into physically with men, because I realized then that a lot of men overcompensate for their shortcomings when they're in public. Behind closed doors, he's someone else, but he can be whoever he is out in public. And that's another reason I stood back from dealing with a whole bunch of people on YouTube, man, because I was like, I'm from an environment, man, where I know cats can be who they want to be in your face and be somebody else at home. We're talking about cats online. I know like hell a cat online can be whoever he wants to be. So, I learned that from that experience, man. I realized that you have to have something to help you discern real from fake when you don't have the experience to do it. And it's called, women call it women's intuition, but men don't understand. Men have intuition as well. And it's simply your spiritual man telling you, don't do that. That's not a good idea. That's not manly. Anytime I face anything, man, and I feel any kind of way besides masculine about doing it, I'm simply not doing it. You can say, man, you're going to use opportunities like that. I don't want no opportunity that makes me feel less than masculine. You understand? I don't want no opportunity that puts me in less than a masculine space. And you got to understand the powers that be, that they know this. That's why you always see comedians having to dress in drag. You know what I'm saying? It's a thing about taking a black man's manhood from him. And when you put yourself in a situation where you allow somebody to check your manhood, take your manhood from you, or give you an opportunity to make money by shunning your own manhood, that tells you a lot about your spiritual man, man. You cannot be a man, a true man, without the alpha essence of the Most High. You can fake it. You can do what society tells you as a man. You can listen to a whole bunch of dumb shit about what clothes you should wear and how you should trim your beard and all that type of things and think that make you a man. But man, being a man is internal, just like being a woman is internal. So you find a woman who lacks morality, she's not going to be feminine. You find a woman who's feminine, I bet she's going to have a high moral fiber. It's just the bottom line,
man. Okay. I totally agree. I see people, T. Kelly, I'm going to subscribe. How many of you going to subscribe, right? We're going to get one more, but listen, 254, we got the BOA, Book of Alpharanomy, Dr. BOA. I'm posting this channel right there in the description also, because the last time he came, we got him some subscribers, but I know a lot of people know him now. How about 50 more people hit the like button for me, okay? 50 more people. Let me give a shout out to some of the people that actually I had, and then I forgot to shout him out. ABL, he was in here. I want to give him a shout out. I basically messed the number up, but yeah, 261, 39 people. If you can hit the like button. Shout out to Mr. Grandeur. He subscribed. How many other people have subscribed to BOA this podcast? Let me know. I'm putting the link there. Let me know if this podcast, if you have subscribed to the brother. Thank you for 265 likes. Do I hear 35 more to get us to the 300 that we need? Thank you, Brother David Warren. He subscribed. Thank you for 267. Let's see who else here has subscribed this show. Thank you, Brother Darte Coates. He has subscribed. Super Cogen 916. Thank you for subscribing. I know Black Ram was here. Thank you, Brother Mike Shinnery, for subscribing. Brother Sam, I do. Thank you. McCann already subbed. I'm a sub already. Bruce Taylor, I subscribe. Thank you. Dr. Love, subscribe. Thank you, Sean Wilson. She subscribed. All right. K. Jamo, subscribe. All right. Thank you, Brother Marcus Dell. So now I know that's and some of y'all still. Thank you, Antoine Wade, Brother Black Heights Academy. We got to do the show. Thank you for subscribing. Brother Obena, my Nigerian brother, I believe, he subscribed. Tevin Sharp subscribed. Thank you so much. Walla Be So Crazy, subscribe. Marcus L. Ben, subscribe. Jay Shine, my brother out there out of New York, but living in Germany, subscribe. Ebby, new subscribe. Thank you, Keep Kentucky, subscribe. John Williams, subscribe. All right. So, brother, you're going to have some new people joining the family over there, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate all the subs, man. I appreciate everybody that's going over to the channel, man. Salute.
Right. Shout out to Ill Wills. He been subscribing over there. Marcus Ibmore, Ben sub. Thank you. Let's talk about the last one, my brother, which is self-confidence.
Hell of a way to end it right here, man.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know,
sir.
the thing about confidence is in this society, men are taught about stuff confidence. You know, it pains me when I hear men being told that if you want to be confident, build your body. If you want to be confident, get your money. If you want to be confident, get some women. If you want to be confident, do something external. Man, that's stuff confidence. I can guarantee you, the majority of these men, if you put me and them in a room, and of course, I'm not saying dress me like I'm broke or have me in there all dusty, but just let me wear something that I think I'm fly in. It don't even matter what nobody else think. Let me wear something that I think I'm fly in. And they can wear whatever the fuck they want to wear. And they can have their bank book out. And I guarantee you, the majority of these dudes, I'm going to go in and kill the room on them. You understand what I'm saying? Because they have the confidence of stuff. I've got the confidence in myself that I'm raw when I'm butt naked. You understand what I'm saying? I'm raw when I bulk and I'm chunky, I'm raw. When I cut and I'm lean, I'm still raw. You understand what I'm saying? Because what men have to understand is everything can be stripped from you except who you are internally. Right. And if you're basing your confidence on things that you can lose tomorrow, you're not confident. You're buying false confidence for yourself. And a lot of times you get the right caliber of woman, man, she can see through that. That's why a lot of these boys who got money have to end up tricking off because they don't have confidence. Money doesn't give you confidence. It doesn't make you better. It just gives you higher visibility to a certain quality of women. It's the same thing with being fit. Being fit doesn't make you better. It makes you healthier, but it doesn't make you better. It simply gives you a higher level of visibility to women who wouldn't normally see you. But when it comes to interacting with women, a woman that already seen your body, that's what got her. What's going to come out of your mouth? How confidently are you going to speak to her? Are you going to speak to her from a perspective of I'm the prize and I'm willing to reward you with the prize that I am, depending on what comes out of your mouth, little mama? That's the difference between a man having confidence. This is what men have to understand. 9 times out of 10, you meet a woman, you don't know when you're going to meet her. That's why men are so likely to go somewhere with the intention of meeting a woman. Because that way you can prepare yourself. If you're going to a club, you can dress in your best. You can put on your jewelry. You can go get freshly lined up. You can do whatever you need to do in order to give yourself that stuff confidence. Man, the baddest chick, in my opinion, the baddest chick I ever caught, man, I caught her playing a damn Words with Friends game. She didn't even know what I looked like. You know what I'm saying? The second baddest chick I caught, I was sweaty as hell coming from the gym, bro. And when I work out in big clothes, because the last thing I want is for some dude chick to be in the gym watching me, man, because I'm in better shape than he is, man. I don't want that. I don't want that. I go in there to work out. So right. I don't like having female attention when I'm working out because chicks like to come talk to you or do something to get in your space and mess with your workout. I go in there, man, and get my little hour in, man, then I bounce. So, you know, when you think about these things, man, self-confidence is based on self. That shit is it's self-explanatory. How you base your self-confidence on things you got to go get. So a lot of these dudes, man, have problems with women because they get a woman that they feel like they don't deserve. I deserve any woman I come across. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in the same room with B and J, he better watch B. First time she give me a choosing sign, man, I'll be like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I think your old lady, man, I think, you know, I don't know, man. Maybe she wants some of that dirty South loving, man. She may be tired of that New York shit, that East Coast loving, man. You know, that's how I'm feeling. Now, that's his wife. So, you know, I wouldn't approach his wife. But that's my thing. If a chick on her level that's well known, that's all of that to me, man, Beyonce just a chick. Now, her attitude may be different because she is that chick. But her attitude with me, I'm going to tone it down because I'm still going to be me. I'm going to treat her like she a chick I met at the grocery store. Because all she is a chick I met at the grocery store who made good in her career. You know what I'm saying? The majority of women I deal with have PhDs, at least a master's level degree, and other certifications that make them bosses in their own right. You understand? Once you deal with a successful woman, every other successful woman is just either less successful or more successful. Like nothing that a woman has is going to break me down because I have self confidence. And so I'm going to dig into her self confidence. Who is Beyonce when she ain't dimed up on stage? Who is she if I catch her ass at Walmart without her face made up? You understand? Where's her confidence then? Is she hiding from me? Does she not want to be seen? I look at every woman the same, man, and I look at her as an object that I can get if I want. If all a woman got to do is let me talk to her. If she let me talk to her, I got some shit. I guarantee I'm gonna tell her some shit she ain't heard before. Because what I'm gonna tell her gonna come from within my soul, within my spirit, and no man can tell her nothing that come from within my soul or my spirit. So self-confidence, man, is simply based on self. Who are you as an internal man? I give you a story here, a quick story. Story time, Nick.
Go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
When I was young, man, I was
Right.
young. Like I was real young. I ain't even have a car yet. I was young. I was real young. I started driving when I was 15, so I was real young. Man, it was this cat. I knew him from when I was younger, from where I lived when I was younger. I lived on the other side of town, north side when I was younger. Now I lived on the east side. I think I was probably a freshman in high school, man. So me and my partner, I was walking with my partner to his crib after school. I saw this cat, and man, when I tell you, man, he was the cat that he was cool, but when it came to Jones, everybody had the same Jones on him, how ugly he was. You know what I'm saying? Like he was cool with being ugly. He was like Biggie, man, heartthrob never, black and ugly as ever.
Right.
But when I say I saw that boy walking with the baddest chick on our side of town, and when I say she was all hugged up with him and all that, man, listen, man, she had stars in her eyes. I know what stars in the chick eyes look like, man, because I used to see my uncles when they hoes came in from working the strip, they had stars in their eye. They were happy to bring their daddy their money, and they had stars in their eyes, like they had been around scrubs and suckers and tricks all day. They were happy to be back around a king. So when I saw that, man, I was like, man, everything my uncles told me, man, was true. Women care a whole lot less about what you present physically. Now, there's a group of women, the scallywag minded women who may not look like scallywags physically, but they have scallywag minds. They want to, try to rape your pockets. There are women out there who are beautiful that are all about raping men's pockets. And a woman like that, I don't really know what my interaction with her would be, man. I don't know if I met one or not because I approach all women the same way. So I think if I have, then I mean, she didn't show it initially. I don't know, bro. That's another story. But when I saw that, and when I say, man, this cat was, and I don't judge dudes, but man, this cat, man, he was one of the ugliest people I ever saw in my life, male or female. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this boy was ugly, man. Like he was just an ugly dude. But man, that chick loved him, bro. She was all on her PDAs, and he was just chilling. Like she was doing all the touching and feeling, man. He was just walking. He had his hand in her back pocket on her ass, in the back pocket of her jeans, and man, she was all over, rubbing all on his chest and shit, kissing all on his cheek and shit. I was like, man, look at this boy. This boy a player. And I knew then, man, that he had self-confidence. Because that's one thing about him. Even when I knew him when I was younger, he was a little bit older than me. But when I knew him when he was younger, man, he just always carried himself like he didn't think he was ugly. He was like, I mean, I'm ugly, but it don't mean nothing. And so I say, man, self-confidence is strictly based on who you are inside. The problem is many men don't know who they are inside. So they identify with their relationship with someone else. Well, I'm her husband. I'm his dad. I'm his son. I'm his friend. I'm their teacher. I'm his counselor. I'm his trainer. I'm her side dude. I'm her boyfriend. They identify with something external because they don't know any other identity. You strip everything away from them, and they're like, man, who the hell am I? They're like Rip Van Winkle, been asleep for 20 years. So, that's the thing about, self-confidence, man.
Brother, I don't even have a question to ask you after you summed it up like that. It was so thorough. Usually I have something to say, but I don't have nothing to say after that, man. It was just such a thorough explanation, especially, the ugly guy, because some of y'all in the chat can relate. I know I can, but I'm glad you brought that home and on the last piece because that was so important. A lot of brothers out there, they act like they don't have, some self-confidence issues, but they know that they do. And I'm just so glad, brother, that you were able to come by today and talk to the people out there. Before we end it, man, let's get 23 more people to like the video. Help us bring he gave a hell of a show, the BOA. He came over and really, really cooked over here. I need 23 people to go ahead on and like the video. Like I said, the brother didn't have to come through here, but he was nice enough to come through here. All right. and we're in different parts of the world. It's 9 o'clock here in Uganda. It might be almost 2 o'clock or 1:20 wherever he's at. But do me a favor, let's get the likes up and let's all subscribe to the brother. I want to make sure that we get him at least another 100 subscribers. For those of you who might want to get over there, and for anybody that needs the link, let me know who needs the link to book Alpharonomy's channel. Let me know if you're here right now and you need the link. Let me know so we can get it over to you. Book up BOA. Let me ask you this, man. I've been seeing that you've been doing the live streams. You got the nice setup, man. You got the graphics going on over there. Seems like the content is improving every day. Brother, what can we be expecting from you? From 2019 on to 2020. What are some of the things that we should be looking out from the BOA channel?
Well, man, right now, man, I'm working on a book, man. It'll be hard copy, paperback, and audio. I won't disclose the name of it, man, because I noticed, man, a few people, man, when I put some information out there, man, I noticed that either we thinking the same, man. You got some cats, man, that be ill hustling, trying to do similar things. So I won't put the title out there. Once it's done, and I'm going to self-publish it. When I mean self-publish, I'm actually going to pay to have it printed, pray to have it pressed up, pray to have the covers put on and all of that. And I'm going to be shipping them directly from my crib. And the first 100, I'll sign them, and send them out. And I also add a special gift with the first 100 copies. As far as the channel goes, man, I'm going to start giving information from an alpha perspective. You know what I'm saying? There won't be any women aren't this or women aren't that, because I just simply don't believe that. I don't buy into that. Like, women are who they are. So you won't hear any more of that type of content. So if you're a beta male sim mangina and you're looking for somebody to pacify you and tell you that, yeah, you're so great and women aren't anything, I'm not the channel for you. But if you're looking for someone, man, who can give you some insight on a better way to deal with women than the way you've been taught in this society, and other than how these beta males tell you to, then the book of Alpharanomy is where you need to be. And also, how to become more alpha in every aspect of life. I just put up a video today, man, about finances, about why most men aren't, I think this title is Why You Aren't a Financial Alpha, and just giving you insight on what you could do to improve yourself, man. It's about improvement, but improvement is easy. Improvement on the base level just makes us all the same. I'm talking about once you improve yourself on the base level, let's get you to that upper echelon of improvement that most men can't reach because they don't even know it exists. So they talk negatively about it. No, there are no alphas. Nobody's alpha. Well, you can be alpha like this and beta like that. All that foolishness right there, man. Let me tell you something. And I say this, and I put this on the line. And any content creator who hears this can challenge me on it. And we can sit down in a podcast and we can chop it up about it. I am the utmost authority on living an alpha existence on this platform. White, black, Chinese, Asian, anything. I am the utmost authority on that existence because I am the utmost authority on that outlook. And I don't mean the alpha look. I mean the alpha existence, the alpha mindset.
All right. You guys heard it from him there. Like I said, man, this was a hell of a show. Thank you, man, so much for dropping by here. I saw Black Ram in the chat earlier. I had, Black Ram earlier this week, man. I just been hosting the gods this week, man. I've been hosting the guys, it feels so good to be amongst so much talent in our, and shout out to Stefan, because Stefan Cleanscales was the one that introduced me to your channel. And now look at Stefan. He got a really good YouTube channel now. I see him getting a lot of numbers. So shout out to brother Stefan for introducing me to the BOA. I did not know who he was, but until Stefan told me. So shout out to that brother, man. He's the reason for, me and BOA coming together. He was really pushing for me and you to hook up. So again, shout out to the brother. But anyway, man, you did a hell of a job today.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on, bro. Appreciate you having me on, man.
We got to get you on the Rumble again, brother. We got to get you a Rumble on the again. Get you in the Hall of Game, brother. So, anything else you want to tell the people, brother?
Man, I just want to say this, man, to the men in the joint. I just want to say, man, look at your own life. Stop blaming women. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming your childhood. Stop blaming anything. You get to a certain point in life where you just got to accept the fact that it's up to you to improve your own life. You understand what I'm saying? And the basic ways of improvement, you already know those. Like if you haven't improved yourself physically, you haven't improved yourself mentally, you haven't tried to improve yourself spiritually, you haven't done any of those things, you don't need no advice on that, man, on that. You need to do it. You have to wrap your mind around the concept that it needs to be done, then find out how to do it. And for the women who are listening, I say this to you. There's a certain caliber of woman that a man wants, that a real man wants. And if you're not that caliber of woman, then don't complain, with the caliber of man you get when you get a beta male sim mangina who does not, move you internally, move you sexually, move you emotionally, mentally, and spiritually the way you would hope a man would. You have to build yourself into the type of woman that deserves that. At the same time, that man is building himself into the type of man who can be that type of energy in your life. O'Shea, man, I appreciate you having me on. Salute to everybody in the joint. And I got one thing to say, man. I don't care whatever book you read. It's the book of Alpharanomy, nigga. Read it or weep.
Or weep. Shout out to brother Tony Davis, 489. Listen, man, thanks again, brother. I will see you guys a little bit later on tonight. I have the brother pill tonight. We're gonna talk about the toxic masculinity thing with Nipsey Hussle. I have Amiri Brown, and I have another brother, Craig Harper. So I'm pretty busy tonight, but guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you, brothers, for allowing us to bring our brothers in here to have the talent, to have these skill sets, man. A lot of people are like, man, I can't believe I didn't know nothing about him, man. There's a lot of guys out here that can really swing that microphone out there with the best of them. You know what I mean? It ain't just only me out here that's hitting these home runs, brother. There's a lot of guys out in this market, in our community, man. And the man for that got some shit for you, man. So again, shout out to BOA. Thank you, brother David Warren, and we'll see you guys later on tonight. Peace.
Peace.
Oh, wait a minute, hold me.